Alrighty, people, this is this, and okay, I'm going to talk about this because this is all over the place, and everybody won't stop talking about it. And the thing is, look, Commodore, I don't really care for zombie movies or zombie games or any of that because I feel that it's been saturated to death, and it's literally everywhere. But this is basic gaming news that even I knew that was coming and that everyone else seems to want to ignore for some dumbass reason or another. But anyways, and besides, it's typical gaming news and it should be talked about like all other gaming news, even if you don't like it. But anyways, Last of Us coming to the PS4. Yeah. I knew that this was coming. I knew this was coming from a mile away. If you check out my earlier videos, I pretty much said it was coming. And I know this because most of you forgot about the controversies that plagued Last of Us before it came out. I'm not saying it's a crap game. I mean, if you like this whole zombie thing and you like it, that's great. But, and I'm not going to go up there and spout, oh, zombie games all suck, because I don't care about zombie games. But this had to do with what was, the whole coming out of PlayStation 4. And this isn't the only game. In fact, there was a couple of other games that were PlayStation 3 exclusives that had this problem. And, well, the controversy was basically when it was released on PlayStation 3, a lot of people noticed, from the E3 conference when they first showed The Last of Us on there, that there was a significant downgrade on graphics. And I mean a significant downgrade. And even I noticed it when I saw the trailers. I was like, well, that's not the game that they showed them on the E3 introduction. Because I saw that game, too, when they first showed it on E3. And it looked way more better than what was being shown. And Naughty Dog is sitting there lying their fucking asses off. Saying, oh, they're going to have better lighting and texturing. Here's the thing. And this is when I was saying, well, I knew the PlayStation 4 was coming out, and I, had that little one-way conversation with Samuel the Tech Geek, more or less conversation, more than screaming match between the two of us, and I was basically telling him that the PS4 was coming out. This was, before the PS4 came out. And I knew that the graphics in The Last of Us was significantly downgraded badly, and I mean really badly, and you could just easily tell when you saw the two images on top of each other. I mean, there was just a massive downgrade. But the images that they were showing, I mean, the gameplay they showed wasn't really powerful as your more powerful PC, but they were better images than what was shown at E3. I mean, no, I screwed that up. I meant was that the images that they showed at E3, even though it was graphically a beautiful game in its own right, it did go on something more powerful than what the PlayStation 3 had at the time. Even though it wasn't as powerful as what, those current PCs were at the time of back then. But then you got the drop in graphics details, and there was something up. And my honest guess was that they finally had picked the final spec for the PS4 after, they were still, looking for the right specs to put on the PS4, and they were giving out these test models, and of course Naughty Dog being, making all those exclusives for, I think they are owned by Sony. Yeah, they're owned by Sony. Just looked it up. But anyways, Naughty Dog being owned by Sony, of course they got those early dev kits and all those experimental dev kits. And I think basically they built the game on one of those experimental dev kits for PS4 before, Sony picked out the final concept, and then realized that that wasn't going to be the PS4. And and then remember, on the E3 they didn't even say it was coming out for PS3, but then announced later on that it was, and then ended up having this massive downgrading in graphics. Massive downgrading. And it spec wise, when I saw the video, it looked like it did go to something just as powerful as what the PS4 now produces. In fact, the PS4 I think is a little bit more powerful than what was shown at E3 at the time when they were shown that game. But it wasn't just The Last of Us. The other game was Beyond Two Souls. That game also received a massive downgrade, and it looked like it was running when they originally ran the demos or the E3s. The game basically looked like it was running off the same fucking engine that The Last of Us was running off of when it was first shown off at E3. That's how I knew something was up, because here are these two games that looked extremely beautiful on E3, but then when they announced them on PS3s, their graphics were completely reduced. And when I saw it, I said, PlayStation 4 is going to come out pretty soon. We are going to see PS4 really soon. And then, of course, Samuel the Techie had to go and ring in and say his own bullshit to me. Basically, we're in kind of a chat thing. Told me a whole bunch of lazy shit that we weren't going to see the PS4 and the Xbox 720 until, like 2015, which was way too late. But I told him about the graphics downgrading that was going on in these two games, and he basically just said, fuck you, you don't understand how this works. And of course, we're in 2014, and of course last year in 2013, we were shown the PlayStation 4, and it did come out by the end of 2014. So hearing this announcement of Naughty Dog porting The Last of Us to the PlayStation 4, I knew this was coming from a long mile away, because it helped. I mean, the whole development of Last of Us pretty much told me the PS4 was coming, and as well as the significant downgrade in graphics that had happened on the PlayStation 3. And I mean, we're talking big ass graphics downgrading. But then hearing Naughty Dog saying, oh, well, we're working on the PS4 version. But anyways, I also agree with the customers that this remastered edition, even though I don't think it's a remastered edition at all, I just think all they did was just go back to the original model and stuff, and they're going to re-release basically what they showed at E3, that version of the game, not so horribly downgrade it, and then they're going to go with that version. That's what I think their so-called remastered edition is going to be. But I do agree with everyone else that they are overpricing this game. $60 for a game that most people already beat. It's the same bullshit that happened with Tomb Raider, and also happened with Deus Ex Human Revolution for the fucking Wii U. Yeah, that game, they released that game at $60 fucking dollars. Fuck you, Square Enix. Oh, no, the 360 and PS3 version? Oh, their remastered version of that game, they released at a low price, but the Wii U version, full fucking price. Fuck you, Square Enix. And I bet you $1,000,000 to 1 we're going to see a remastered PS4 version of Beyond Two Souls. I'm not going to get it because I thought the game was shit. But yeah, I bet you $1,000,000 to 1 we'll see it. Just saying. I knew deep down we were going to see a remastered edition of Last of Us for PS4, but I knew that because, I saw the E3 footage and I immediately knew that went to that was not PlayStation 3 graphics. But I'm just dragging this on now. And of course, the same went with Beyond Two Souls. That was not PlayStation 3 graphics neither. But yet they were released for PlayStation 3 and horribly downgraded. And now one of them is getting a remastered edition, and I bet you a million to nothing. So is the Beyond Two Souls. And I think they were built on their machines that were close to what the PS4 is now. They were built for machines that were, spec-wise close to what the PS4 specs had. Which, yeah, the other reason why I'm making this video. I was right from the beginning. I don't really care for both games, but I know that a lot of people really love Last of Us, and that's good news for them. And I'm actually happy for them. But I just wanted to lay my 2 cents. I saw the E3 thing. I saw the graphics were too hot and intensive for PlayStation 3 when both games were first shown. And then all of a sudden I saw massive downgrades in graphics when they were finally released on the PlayStation 3, which told me and indicated, yeah, we are going to be seeing the PS4 soon. There's just no other answer to that. And of course, same with the Tech Geek. I was right. See ya.